Can I describe drug psychosis? Let's get into it. What's up, you guys? My name's Nicole Pludre. I'm a person in long-term recovery, and I love to talk about drugs, recovery, addiction, and so much more. Let me share with you guys a little bit about drug psychosis in my experience. So psychosis is like, for me, it was like I was in reality. It is so real, okay? It is so real. The way the onset, I wouldn't even know that my psychosis was coming on, right? I would just be on a bender for like 3 days without sleep. And then I would start interacting with my hallucinations. Most of the time, my hallucinations were visual and auditory because I would interact and talk to the hallucinations. And they would talk back to me. And so it's so vivid. It's hard for me to explain to people that have never been there, but once you go for many days without sleep, a lot of people will go into psychosis. And for me, a lot of my psychosis was centered around my job, me needing to be at my job, because I was a hard worker. I was always working when I was in active addiction. I didn't go without jobs for very long. And my longest job that I had while I was in active addiction was the revenue office in Kroger. I worked at both of these jobs for like 6 years. Okay. And I would sit there and get so worried that I needed to be at my job in my psychosis. And then my boss would show up where I would be at. And we would be working side by side, talking to each other while I was in psychosis, but she really wasn't there. One time I took off walking in the middle of the night down the interstate in Southwest Little Rock, down the road, right? Not the interstate, but down the road. And I saw my boss pull in a white F-150 truck. She jumped out. She's like, "Girl, I need you at the deli at work." And so I was getting my walk on, headed toward the deli, like for real, thinking that I had just talked to my boss and she had told me I needed to be at work. Another time I had psychosis, it was with an ambulance driver that was trying to help me. He was trying to get me to get in the ambulance on my own without having to be like held down or, whatever. And I thought that he was someone else trying to inject me with cocaine. So I was like flailing around and trying to resist him and all this madness. Another psychosis that I had, and this is all on one long bender of psychosis. I was literally seeing frogs all over the walls. All over the walls. And those frogs were like, some kind of juice was coming out of their back. And I thought if I licked the juices that I would start tripping. Like acid. So another psychosis that I had was that there was Roxy 30s, these pills, all over the floor at my friend's house. And so I got on my hands and knees and I started scooping them up and putting them in a spoon. Later on, I realized I had shot up cat shit, hair, dust, dirt from off the ground in her fucking apartment. Another hallucination that I had was when I met my husband and we were together, was that a woman was underneath the covers giving my husband head. And I could see the woman's head bobbing up and down. Then I would pull the covers back and there would be nobody there. Then I'd pull the cover back over and the head would be bobbing up and down. So it's so real and it's so hard whenever someone's in psychosis to kind of get through to them and let them know that what they're seeing isn't real. Because in their mind it's real. They're seeing it. I hope this helps explain it a little bit.